Hi! In today's video we're going straight to the point. How to install a diesel space heater in a cabin. Which I failed twice to install it. I decided to install a space heater in my cabin instead of a propane direct vent. Because first it was cheaper. We talk about like 200 bucks compared to like $1,000. And also because they're really efficient on fuel if you compare to propane. They take half of the consumption. Those space heaters normally are used in van life, and like this is the Chinese copy of the Webasto. I can hear you home being like, why don't you install a propane direct vent heater? And the only reason is like it's the propane accessibility here. I can't call a truck and like fill up a big tank of propane near the house because like there's no access for a big propane truck. So it was easier to bring like diesel jug. The house here works on those little 20-pound propane tank. The same one you're gonna find for your barbecue. It's very steep, so I have to carry like those little jugs by hand up the stairs. And I don't want to be stuck bringing non-stop like barbecue tanks. Anyway, for now I use one propane tank every 3 months because I use them just for my water heater that works on propane and my cooktop. So c'est ça. But the only tricky part is the installation of the space heater. Because you have an exhaust on this machine which gets really hot and you have to run it normally through the floor of your van, which is in metal. And unfortunately here my house doesn't have a metal wall, it's all wood, so I had to figure out how to install this pipe through the wall without burning down the whole place. And also the pipe that they were giving was maybe like 2 feet long, which was really not long enough. So I had to order a longer one. I think it was like a 1 meter one. Anyway, that was another mistake. And then it's just a backup heating system. At night, sometimes it gets cold. And what is cool with this one is that there's a remote, so I can be in my bed and starting it instead of getting up and feeding the fire downstairs when it's cold, -20, you want to cry, you just want to be like in your bed again. And anyway, it's experimental and I failed twice to try to install that because of the heat from the exhaust and also the length of the exhaust. So if I can give you an advice, try to go through a concrete wall or do a concrete slab and then install it over the concrete slab to avoid too much heat, because like here it was not planned. I was not planning to install such a machine. So if you want to see me trying to install this machine, just continue to listen, otherwise, see you later. I'll give it a try, and like if it doesn't work, then it doesn't work. I will just remove it, and if it works, then well, it's cool. So today, that's what we're gonna do. The way the house is configured, it's a square and I got the main closet here where I have my water tank on the second floor, and at the bottom here I got all my unit, the batteries, I got the water heating system, and I got like my pressure tank here, and I'm going to install the heater under my pressure tank because at the back of the house here, there's a small shed that I built and I put my propane tank in here. And what I want to do is I want to do a hole in the wall here. Let me do it bigger. This is the back wall of the house. And this is the unit. And yes, okay, the small shed where is my propane tank. And what I want to do is install B-vent through the wall, because the heating unit have an exhaust and the exhaust can get really hot. So I want to put the exhaust through the B-vent to prevent fire, because here I got my wood, a layer of styrofoam, insulation, and then the siding, and all that I don't want that to burn. So I'm gonna install B-vent straight in the box with an elbow that go down like this, so the exhaust is gonna puff right there, boom. and also they're gonna be hidden from like any rain or any snow falling down the roof. Also here I'm gonna put a 20 liters tank to feed the heater. So I'm gonna run the fuel line in the wall and boop, my 20 liter tank. And I bought 2 jugs. So once this one is empty, it's gonna be easy. Open the door, take the other jug, fill this one, and let's go. We're back en route with that. So basically that's the thing we have to do today. I've been planning to do this project since a while. I've been looking at video on YouTube. There's not much installation in cabin, unfortunately. We see mostly those installation in people's sheds or like workshop. But here I thought it was a good idea because it's not that bigger than a workshop. It was just a question of like, how am I going to install it? Do I install the unit outside the cabin or do I install it inside? It's always a question about the exhaust. Okay, nice. Oh, that's for the fuel line. Screw that. Here's the plate to install under the heater. Fuel line is right next to the air intake. That is part of the exhaust as well. Okay. Here's the exhaust. This is not long enough to go through my wall. Whatever. And this is the air intake duct. Pretty cool. Fuel line, really good. It's rigid. Here you got the air intake filter, couple of tie wrap, adapter, gas filter. That's for the fuel pump. All the connectors. So that's the unit. It's 12 volt, which is fine. All the house batteries are plugged to be 12 volt. Here you got the control panel with this famous key. So from my bed, I'm gonna be able to start it. Beep beep. Pretty cool. So here's the fuel pump. On the internet, they say to always put the fuel pump in 45 degrees. This way, you follow the arrow. And here's the unit. This is the pipe where the hot heat gonna go through, and I want to go in the kitchen and in the bathroom. So here is the central closet where I have all my utilities, and I make some space here where I want to install the heater. I want to put it like this, so the exhaust is gonna go through the wall right there. Go see outside. The pipe gonna stick out over here and gonna go right down there. Like this. There you go. Here's the vapor barrier. So that's our hole that we just did inside. So here's our pipe for the air intake. I think it fits quite well like this. comme ça, I guess. Now it's time to pass the fuel line. Straight in that, like this. Over the top. Okay, so I've installed the pump. They say to give it 45 degrees. I'm just gonna put the other length. Ok, comme ça. The intake for fresh air. That is a bit sketchy. Maybe I'm gonna ask a friend to do a metal plate like this with metal legs that go down, so it's gonna be like safer than like pieces of wood. But today this is what I have, so that's what I'm going to work with. So that's the exit in the bathroom. And again, all the plumbing in the cabin, I left the pipe outside the walls in case of if I leave for like a week, the cabin freeze and then like one pipe broke, even if I have a system to drain them when I'm away for a long time. You never know, maybe there's a little bit of water. It takes nothing to break a pipe, so because the pipes are outside the walls, then I can cut a section, put a new one, boom, easy. Small tricks. Imagine you're cooking, your feet are here, super warm, pretty cool. Maybe what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put it there and I'm just gonna tilt a little bit the tank. When I installed it like this, I thought the exhaust will come hot, but not that hot. I looked video on YouTube and a guy was like doing tests with the thermometer on it, and it said that it was like 200 degrees Celsius, which is already really hot, but I didn't thought it would be that hot. And that could cause a problem. That could create a fire in the wall, and I don't want that because the pink insulation is a really good fire resistant. It burns at like almost like 500 Celsius. The pink insulation doesn't burn really, it just melts, but you don't want the whole wall to melt because like that would be catastrophic. So yeah, I will just remove that. Sometimes that happens. Sometimes you try something, it doesn't work, and whatever, like you continue, you do it up to when it works, and at some point you go through it and it finally works and you're happy. Okay, c'est ça. I will just scrap everything. After this spell, because the pipe was not long enough and really too hot, I thought about getting a longer one. They sell 1 meters long, so I bought one. And also I got what they call heat wrap. they use that on muffler for muscle car or motorcycle, ATVs, whatever. I just wrapped the whole pipe in that and we're gonna see if it works. I also had this problem. I needed to cap the pipe because like the fresh air was coming from the outside to inside by the B vent. And I was trying to put like pink insulation, which was melting. After that, I thought I'm gonna put some rock wool insulation, which was also melting. So at the end, I thought let's pour concrete, and that's what I did. And we're gonna see if it works. I also left the other end of the B vent open so fresh air can come in and made the pipe less hot, I guess, because even if there's like wrap insulation over the exhaust, that can be still hot. So here's the deal. I removed the insulation around the pipe and I removed also all the insulation here that was pink. And I'll install like some kind of a box they use for like stove while they pass through the roof. So the pipe B vent gonna be in the middle here, and that part's gonna be in the wall, and then I'm gonna cover the top with like rock sole here. This is so that's the box kind of. And then the insulation back. And that's it. Let's go try that. And also for more protection, I did add like around the pipe here, but because it was like really hot, some insulation. So this is how it looks. For more safety, I did use the old pipe. So it with this cylinder, and this is the old pipe. So it's further than the box. So finally, it took me almost a month to install this machine because I had to order another exhaust, the longest one. So that took me like 3 weeks to get this part. So far, I'm really happy with the result. Runs smooth. Since I've put the exhaust wrap, seriously, like the heat is way less first. But yeah, it's working. Like the house get heat by like this machine plus the wood stove, so it's really great. I can't wait to try that during like really cold months. This morning I woke up at 6 and I wanted to give a try with the machine, so I started it from my bed with the remote. Outside temperature was minus 10 degrees Celsius and inside the cabin it was 18, and with the machine at full throttle we gained almost like 2 degrees in 1 hour. When we started the machine, it was taking 6 amp because I think it's like something with the glow plug inside, and once it was rolling full speed then it was about 2 amp. So I think it's like also quite energy efficient.